What is up, YouTube? Just a quick little recap here for you on the XLCH. Last video I just posted is basically setting it up for first fire. And then had my buddy Kyle come over, give me a hand kicking it. Again, it's been a while since I've worked on or had a kick-only Ironhead. I'm used to the big twins. They kick over substantially different. If you've never kicked both, try it when you can. They're completely different. But went through this. It is an old carb off of an Evo. Bolted it on, tried it. It's been sitting off of a bike for about a year. Float was sticking, so it's leaking gas. I couldn't leave the gas straight on. And ignition was on. I was just editing the last section of videos. The headlight is a separate circuit. So I basically have two position on the key switch. There's an off, well, three position key switch, but off, on, which is only ignition, and then full on, which is all of my lights. So when I'm sitting there kicking it over in the last video, the headlight's not on. When we got it to fire, the headlight was on. I just clicked an extra position on the key. Either way, ignition was on when we were kicking it over. Hopefully that worked. I tried not to edit a ton out, so it's a little boring watching the kick through, but it is a first start video, so if you enjoy that, watch it. If not, fast forward to the end. We did get it to light off, and then it died, which, fine. First fire, dies, expected. Then we kind of lost compression. So this segment of the video, part 2, is going to go over what happened. I definitely 100% messed up on that. That was user error, skill error, whatever it may be. It's what happens when you have motors apart for so long, and you forget things. Maybe it's the drinking habit. Could be that too. Who knows? I take full accountability on that one. I've never done that before. However, first time for everything, and it's not always for good things. So that's where we're at. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video and roast me in the comments. I deserve it. I went through everything else, checked out in terms of fixing the problem, which I'm not going to spoil for you. Watch the video, find out. Laugh at me, make fun of me in the comments. I don't care. Part of life, it's what happens. I'm not trying to hide anything, so watch me mess up on this build. First fire, overly anxious, skipped a step, switched the carb, pulled an audible. Things happen, get over it, move on. Now I do have some other bigger issues that we need to address, which you guys will see towards the end. So there you have it. Hey, what not to do?
What do we got here, John?
Oh, you know, I drink too much and left a paper towel in the intake. That happened.
Oh, yeah.
Now's the fun part. Let's see if I f***ed up the valve.
To be continued.
Yup. Well, I will say I'm happier that I found something.
Yeah.
It actually did start fucking quick.
It did, yeah.
If we want to be fair. Far from ideal. I'm going to need you to work the kicker a little bit to try and get this out. I think if we're lucky, I should be able to free this up.
Do you have any picks?
Yeah.
You.
Come down just a hair though. I want it. It's caught on the exhaust valve.
Oh shit.
Which is why.
Might be easier to do this if we pull the carb. No?
I don't know. I mean, I'm almost there. Like, leave it right where it's at on the kicker.
Alright.
Because that exhaust valve is just starting to open up.
Okay.
I mean, genuinely, like, it's making me feel a lot better, actually.
Yeah.
As shitty as that is. As long as I can get the big chunks off.
The rest of it'll burn up, right?
Yeah. That's a first for me.
Hopefully it'll last.
Oh, definitely not. When I popped this plug, I saw something in there. I'm like, what is that? What is that? There's way worse things.
Yeah.
It's not a bolt.
That's true.
Alright, you want to kick it over a little bit, nice and slow? viewpoint on the intake.
But also, why are we getting such a low such low compression
Well,
on the rear?
If the valve tries to close and it's hitting the paper towel, the valve can't actually.
But on the rear?
Probably a rag in there too.
You think so?
I don't know.
Oh man.
I decided to put this intake on. Did I have 1 beer or 6 beers? Lost some air in there.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I was gonna say.
Let's see what happens. Well, I left a paper towel on the cylinders on the intake, so that was hanging a valve up. We're gonna find out how bad I messed that up. We're still going for it. Kyle's tightening down the bottom of the carb. We'll turn the gas back on and give her a couple more kicks. Dripping gas.
Yeah.
The carb does not work right out of the box. Vacuum leak on the intake, but it runs. That sounded way better.
I mean, it sounded pretty healthy.
Let me bump that idle just because it's new. That's what I like doing. I don't like the kicking part. Let me find a vacuum plug. Follow you, Kyle.
Oh man.
That's what I hired you for. Too old for this shit. Let's let one kick go.
Gas or what? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Close?
Yeah, I don't have the gas on.
serious compression now.
Yeah, now that everything's seated. Watch Kyle. Panhead Kyle kickstart an Ironhead. Needs more fuel at idle, but it's a runner.
Yeah.
Everything else is good. I'm happy with that. Quick little recap for you. Bike started and ran. We live in an internet world where everything is instantaneous, everything happens super quick, and everybody wants results right away. The more things you do, the more things you're going to miss. I missed a major one, and this is to date. I have built 10, 11 shovelhead, ironhead, chopper motors in my duration of messing around with these old Harley pieces of crap. A couple shovels, couple customer shovels, couple ironhead, a handful of ironheads. Full transmissions, full whatever's, case welding, whatever it may be. This is my biggest mess up to date. I messed up! Slapped everything together on this, put the intake, mounted the heads, bolted the cylinders down. I decided for the first time in my life to be cautious about it and throw paper towels into the intake while I knew that the Bendix carb needed to be rebuilt. Changed my mind, got a free carb, bolted it on. At that point, the paper towels on the intake sucked in a little bit further. I didn't see them. Slapped it all together. Went to start this thing. It started pretty quick. And you guys, if you just rewind the video, you'll see it fired up and then didn't. Then we had to do a little bit of diag because I lost compression. Well, I lost compression because I left the paper towels in the intake. As cheesy, as ridiculous as that sounds, it happens. Like I said, we're doing it live. It's happening. Whatever happens, whatever my faults may be. Did I blow the whole thing up? No. Could you have? Yes. That's really, really bad. If that intake got stuck at the bottom of the valve and then the piston came up and valve hits piston, bad. You don't want to do that. But I messed up. Anyways, bike is running. Also, rear cylinder head gasket is leaking a little bit. I'm not a rebuild engine shop. This is my own stuff. This is me sneaking it in when I can. I don't think I forgot to tighten those head bolts down. If you've been watching the videos, please let me know so I don't have to go back, because I'm going to tonight and waste a bunch of time burning hours watching old videos of myself, which sucks. but the head's leaking a little bit on the rear, but it fires right up now. Runs good, pulls strong, sounds hard. Carb is leaking, all sorts of issues from that, which was anticipated. But if you're gonna tape off or cover up your intake stuff, pull the paper towels out. This could have been way worse. This is a hard mess up. I will be the first one to admit that. My buddy was here, kicked it over a couple times. He kicked it off on the first light up. Ran good for about 30 seconds, then just kind of sputtered out and died. Then went to start trying to mess around with carb stuff, and I have so many variables. That's what happens. Pulled the spark plug, and I saw a paper towel in the head in the combustion chamber. Don't do that. I screwed up. I have no problem admitting that. But this motor's also been apart for like a year and a half. I'm not trying to make excuses for myself. I'm just telling you, this is what happens when things go way longer than they should. I should have looked on the intake side before I bolted the carb on. Guilty. I should have rechecked everything before I even thought about bolting the carb on. Also guilty. I'm not blaming anybody else. This is real life. I told you I'd take you along live, but that's kind of what happened on this side. The hesitation from starting after we slapped all this back together was I left a paper towel on the intake. It got sucked into the front head. It didn't get sucked into the back, but it came into the front head, was tangled up around the intake valve. The intake was not closing. I didn't have any compression, and that was the result. A ton of kicking, trying to find a compression stroke that wasn't there. Pulled it, pulled the intake, pulled the carb, yanked everything out of the intake, blew it out with compressed air, rotated the motor over, blew air through the backside, through the intake port on both. No air coming through the spark plugs. Once everything was out, bolted the carb back up, put some gas to it, fired right up, ran okay. No issues there. I didn't bend any valves. That was my biggest concern, because that costs a lot of money that I don't have on this bike. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. I apologize. Check your stuff, and don't do what I just did. That was dumb, that was negligent, and that was what happens when you drink too much. So, if you're clicking, watching any of those things, channel's called Wrenching Wrecked. I get a little messed up. Most of the time I finish what I'm doing when I'm doing it. I messed up on this one. But we have a runner, right? It started. Lots more to do. Head gasket on the rear cylinder, and we'll be back. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys on the next one. And there we go. I am an idiot. It happens. XLCH, not happy with me. So, essentially where we're at now, it runs. Bottom end sounded good. Oil is recircling back into the tank like it's supposed to. Popped a head gasket on the rear cylinder for whatever reason. Gonna have to diag that. Not the biggest deal in the world. Just kind of a pain. I gotta pull the rear head off and go through that. Pull the push rods and exhaust. I do have new exhaust clamps that I already planned on putting on. So that's not that big of a deal. These ones just don't tighten up that well. So new exhaust clamps will go on, and we'll figure out what happened on the rear head. Bummer. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all those fun things. I'm anticipating some comments on this one for my sheer stupidity. Roast me. I got thick skin. You will not offend me. Make mistakes. That's how you learn things, right? Oh well. We'll catch you guys on the next one.